Good morning. I'm Dr. Cheryl Lees, the Associate Director of the CFC for the Sunshine Zone. We're here today to celebrate the cause of the week, education, with several charities from our zone and several other zones. We're here with Parent to Parent of Miami Incorporated, the Federal Employee Education and Assistance Fund, and Empowering Future Minds. Education is positive and powerful, but not everyone has access to education. Therefore, the CFC is choosing education to highlight as its cause of the week in hopes that people band together and promote education for others and give others opportunities that they may not have. Before we speak to our charities, I do want to highlight some impact statements that the CFC shares every year. And I want you to remember that as a group, more people can impact others than just doing it by ourselves. So if we look at these impact statements, I just want to highlight that only $24 can actually impact 30 students. $40 can impact 3 students that need help with tutoring. $120 supports an entire program. So as you're looking at donating to the CFC and determining the cause that suits you best, or several causes that you're very interested in helping, please keep in mind that when we put our money together, we're able to contribute in a much larger way and to affect many others' lives. Let's talk to our charities who are present right now. I'd like to start by showing a video from Parent to Parent of Miami, and we can learn a little bit more about their organization.
Hi, my daughter Evelyn was diagnosed with autism when she was 3 years old. I work for Parent to Parent of Miami so I can learn how to be a better advocate for her. Let's just say I have her back. And today, I would like to ask you to have Parent to Parents back to support our combined federal campaign. Our campaign number is 18515. You can help us redefine happiness. I know that day after day, we have missions and we have goals that can be achievable. You can help us redefine happiness. We thank you for your support.
And I'd like to welcome Ms. Ida Severio from Parent to Parent of Miami Incorporated, who we were lucky enough to have here with us as well as be on video. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. I really sincerely appreciate it. On behalf of Parent to Parent of Miami and all the families in Miami-Dade County and Monroe County that we support over the year and over the last 30 years of our organization.
Thank you very much for being here with us. Ms. Severio, we would like to know, how has COVID impacted your organization?
COVID has impacted all our fundraising initiatives. It has created a high level of employee turnover. It has decreased donations and sponsorships. As a nonprofit, we have to fundraise and rely on our supporters, families, sponsors, donors, to go the extra mile for the 1,500 families that we support every year. When I say we try to go a step ahead, is that we don't see our programs as just being limited to the programs that we serve. If a family comes to us with other needs, we just don't refer them to other agencies, but we try to step in and help them with hunger, with shelter, with during the holidays that are coming up. There's going to be a lot of people needing basic things, and these funds will certainly help us help them. In the video, you saw that I was talking about my daughter, Evelyn, and how I always will have her back. So what we're asking of you today, with, from our hearts, is for you to have our back so we can have the back of these families that certainly need it so much during the time of COVID.
Excellent. Can you tell us about your top programs?
Our top programs at Parent to Parent of Miami, which we serve families in Miami-Dade and Monroe County. Like I mentioned before, over 34 years, our nonprofit has served thousands of families. Main programs are peer-to-peer support to parents, to family, to teach their children how to become advocates for themselves. The main idea being that when you are a parent that has a child with a disability, like I do, my daughter Evelyn was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3. I become a teacher to other parents, so those parents can teach their children how to one day be advocates for themselves, be independent, self-reliant. And other program is that we do so many workshops, we do trainings on how to navigate the school system and disabilities. Parents have a lot of rights under the law of IDEA, which is a law that protects children with disabilities in their school system. And we educate them. We educate them about the rights of their children, about all the programs available to them. And as a parent, when Evelyn was diagnosed at 3 years old, I went to Parent of Miami. I went there lost. I went there a little sad, confused, and they supported me. They gave me guidance. They gave me hope. They gave me information, knowledge. They educated me. And that's why I am a true believer on the programs that we provide for parents and the proof that they work, that they sincerely give parents the focus that they need to be there for the little ones.
Excellent. It's nice to have some firsthand knowledge of that.
Absolutely.
What are 3 things that donors might not know about your organization?
Well, a lot of donors don't know that every year we serve more than 1,500 families, children and adults with disabilities. And we're talking all kinds of disabilities. My daughter diagnosed with autism, cerebral palsy, other children with ADD, ADHD, Down syndrome. There's many other medical conditions. And we, you come to us, you give us a call, and you email us, you come to our workshops, and we are there to educate you and guide you and answer questions that you have. Another thing that a lot of donors and sponsors don't know about Parent to Parent of Miami is that the leadership is comprised of parents and professionals with firsthand experience, knowledge, and perspective of what disability is. I work with a wonderful team of mostly women that have become family to me. And all of them, every single one of them, have a child with a disability. So we live it every day. We help each other. I mean, we are every day experiencing what our programs are about, this support and this sharing of knowledge. And the last thing that our donors and sponsors don't really know is that we're always looking for volunteers. We are always looking for new board members that are passionate about our mission, about impacting the future of kids with disabilities and their families. And it's all about community. It's about, more than ever right now, it's about working together and choosing a charity that you can help. It doesn't matter how much, either financially or in kind, by volunteering, by becoming a member of the board, by asking them, how can I help? And that's why we're here. I sincerely appreciate you consider us for your donations. Our number for the CFC campaign is 18515. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that information.
Thank you, Ms. Lee.
Sure. Next, I'd like to show a video from the Federal Employee Education and Assistance Fund. All right, and joining us today from the Federal Employee Education and Assistance Fund is Ms. Robin Keogh. Thank you for joining us today.
It's my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, of course, of course. So Ms. Keogh, how has COVID impacted your organization?
So like most organizations out there, I think we've had to adapt to working at home, which has been different for us, but so far is working pretty well. We're lucky we've made some investments over the last few years in technology that has allowed us to keep our programs going fairly seamlessly. And as was mentioned just a minute ago by Parent to Parent, we also are struggling a little bit with losing some of our annual fundraising events. We normally put on a 5K in May every year. That is our biggest fundraiser. And we had to scrap that entirely this year. So that's a concern for us, but we're working, as many people are, on trying to make that up in other ways and trying to be creative in our programming. And then we've also had to adapt our programs to make sure that we're helping federal employees who are having issues due to COVID. Our entire mission is to help civilian, federal, and postal employees. And so we have been looking from the very beginning of the pandemic at what's going on with federal employees and what might their needs be. So we started out with some loans and then added some grants for lower income federal employees who might have leave without pay due to COVID, which particularly early on, before some of the legislation was passed that gave them extra time, was a really needed thing. We're still doing that. Unfortunately, we've also had bereavement grants to issue to families who have lost a federal employee or to federal employees who have lost a spouse or child to COVID. And then we started also a free reusable fabric mask program. So we're providing non-medical reusable washable masks, one to any federal employee who needs one. And we've given out over 6,000 of those so far.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you're adapting fairly well and helping others in the process. What are your top programs?
So because it's Education Week, I will start by talking about our scholarship program. And that is a merit-based program that we run every year. We give about 200 to 250 scholarships The average scholarship is $1,000, although we do have some that go up as high as $7,500 for the year. And these are for federal employees themselves, as well as for their spouses and college-age children. And again, it's a merit-based program. So we look at grades, we look at community service, we look at a short essay, but we don't look at family finances because we know that most federal employees fall into the great middle class, and that they don't tend to qualify for a lot of need-based aid. And so for the scholarship program, we wanted to make sure that it wasn't a financially based program. We're actually launching the application for the 2021 program tomorrow. So that'll be available to everyone. And then I'm really excited. We actually launched this week another educational program that's also partially a response to COVID. We have a new tutoring program. And we're working with tutor.com, which is part of the Princeton Review. They've been doing online tutoring for about 20 years. And what we're doing is providing free tutoring sessions to any federal employee family that has children in grades K through 12 and needs some extra help. We know that a lot of families are struggling a bit right now, that a lot of teachers are not as accessible for tutoring and after school help and those kinds of things. And so tutor.com has a huge number of subjects available, pretty much anything you could think of for kids in grades K through 12. And right now we do have an income cap on that program to try to serve sort of the underserved federal employees first, but if we have funding available, we may expand that cap as the program goes on. So we're really excited about that. And then we also have our disaster relief and emergency hardship loan programs that continue on for feds who have needs due to natural disasters that occur, like the fires out on the West Coast, like the flooding that has occurred in the Gulf Coast, hurricanes, tornadoes, any sort of declared natural disaster that affects feds. We do small grants to help them while they're waiting for insurance, FEMA, other aid to come through. And then our hardship loans are for feds who are having hardships. Sometimes it's an illness of their own or a family member's, violent crime, almost anything that you can think of that might have a financial impact on a federal family. And those loans, we pay creditors directly and feds pay us back through allotment a little bit at a time, no fees or interest added.
Excellent, good to know. What are 3 things donors don't know about your organization?
So unfortunately, the top thing that federal employee donors don't know about our organization is that we exist. We have been around serving federal families for more than 30 years, but we find every time we go out and talk to feds, people weren't aware of us. And so part of the reason that I love doing things like this is to make sure that the word gets out that FIA exists and that we help federal employees. Another thing that feds don't know is that we're a very small staff. So all of those programs I just mentioned are run by 3.5 people. So we're doing a lot with a small number of people, as many charities are. We are trying to make sure that we are making good and responsible use of the funds that people donate to us to run our programs. And then the other thing that people don't know about us is that in addition to those other programs that I just mentioned, we also have a program called Fed Life Hacks. And that is an informational program that we've introduced in the last couple of years. What we seek to do with that program is to provide unbiased information to feds about things that might affect their lives in and outside of work. So we've done a series, for example, on elder care, everything from things you might need to think about if you're helping an older family member who doesn't live close to you, if you're thinking about moving someone closer to you. We've done a bit about security clearances and finances, how your finances can affect your security clearance, things to think about there. So it's a broad range of topics that we talk to experts, we do some research, and we try to present information that isn't trying to sell you anything.
Well, thank you very much. That's very informative. And our final charity that's joined us today is Empowering Future Minds. We'll start with their video and then we'll be able to talk to their representative as well. And today we have Miss Suzanne Archer joining us from Empowering Future Minds. Welcome, Suzanne.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Suzanne, what was the statistics on the last slide of your video?
That is, we are a very, very small charity, and we are also new. I think we started in 2014, and so far we have collected over $30,000, and we give scholarships to at-risk young ladies in high school in Jamaica. So we give them cash scholarship. And our aim is to take these girls out of to complete high school. Many of them are from very impoverished neighborhood, and they don't have the basic needs for attending classes, uniforms and books and lunch money, because it's not free or guaranteed there. As poor as that country is, students are really expected to have find them. Their parents need to have the means to send them to school. So that is what we concentrate on, giving cash scholarships to young ladies. So what you're seeing there is checks handed out to some of our young ladies that received our scholarships.
Excellent. So how has COVID impacted your organization?
It has been very difficult for us simply because we are very small staff and our clients, our students are overseas. So usually we go once per year. We go to Jamaica and we visit the young ladies. We visit their school. We try to serve as mentors for them, checking up on them, making sure that they're keeping up with their grades and their studies. We were unable to do that this year. So it has affected us primarily for that. Second, like everybody else, our fundraising events have been affected. Most of our fundraising events were face to face. So we used to have balls and charity dance and bingos and all of that. We couldn't do anything this year. So now we are trying to think out of the box where we do a virtual bingo and we are doing solicitation letters um, by and trying to do Zoom meetings with some of our donors. So towards the end of the year, which is right now, which we begin this year, this month, where we are working on during the Thanksgiving season up towards the end of the year, we're encouraging our donors to give money and to participate in our virtual events.
Great, great. Would you like to speak a little bit more on behalf of your top programs?
Again, we are focused on providing scholarships to Jamaica students in high school young ladies. We truly believe that educating a female really goes beyond any other measure to developing a country because our organization comprises of mostly teachers and principals that we are all Jamaicans. We go home once per year. And after visiting, we saw that so much and was needed and so many were in need. And some of the things that we see for granted here is only a dream for so many of them down there. So we sat and decided we'll try to make a difference in the lives of these young ladies. So, so we concentrate on cash, but we are not boxed in, because what we realized was that students who have heard about us will approach us, or we get letters from parents asking, what can we do? So sometimes when we as a group and the funds have been depleted, we go beyond that and ask for extra fund for a special student who may be in need. Also, what COVID has done as kind of shifted our focus, not necessarily on cash, but now we're focusing on laptops and computers, because so many are now learning from that platform. So we have now, and we have right now in our garage a shipment of elementary school books, about 500 that we have to ship. We have computers that were donated that we have to ship. So the cash that we receive goes not only towards the scholarship, but also towards other educational programs, not necessarily designed for our girls, but also for other schools that we may identify is in need. For example, the books we have, we are working on building a library for a school. So we're sending all that books, we're sending computers, we're sending a printer, and now we know that they have all that they need to start a very small library.
Wow. What are three things that donors don't know about your organization?
That we are so proud to say we are 100% successful in moving all our recipients into college. So we stick with those girls. So if we identify a girl in need in middle school, we see to it that that child graduates from high school. And if the child is already in high school, we walk with that child until that child graduates. So we are totally committed to the student up until high school graduation. They may not know that we are also tax deductible. And so we encourage participation. So donors can get back a portion for tax return. And also many do not know that we do that we do exist. You know, we're very small, and we do this on the side because we all have to work. We are all teachers. We are principals. So we do this once a month. We meet and talk about where we are and where we would like to be. And so we encourage people to visit our website and look at the different ways that they can donate to our cause.
Thank you very much for sharing. Just want to highlight that any donors who are interested in giving to CFC, to any of the three charities or any of the 6,000 charities that belong to CFC this season, should log on to givecfc.org to make their contributions there. They can also find out more information about all of these charities through givecfc.org. Thank you so much to everyone, and let's keep education in the forefront of our minds.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.